Hey guys, welcome back to Hogwarts Park. And just so you know, I recorded this as a live build, but a lot of weird things happened behind the scenes. So pretty early on with the editing process, I gave up on making some sort of sense of this and turned it into a speed build. But there were a lot of fun things happening, so I included a not so little outtakes compilation at the end of this. I hope you'll enjoy it. But let's get started with the build. And today's a pretty easy one. It's not as complicated as the Forbidden Forest. We're starting with a glitch discovered, I think it was discovered by Notho Lover. I put a link for you in the top right corner, which is a way, as you saw, to get rid of the water around the fish feeder, which I wanted because the Fire Dwelling Salamanders that I'm doing this Vivarium for today, they live in fire. So I didn't want their feeder to be in water, just because it would look weird for them to walk in there, because that's just the opposite of the element they need to thrive. And now I added zip lines because, you know, we have those two dead ends there, and I prefer to have a connection. I couldn't take a tour or the monorail. I could have, but why? If we have zip lines, and wizards are used to traveling on brooms, so even the adult wizards shouldn't have a problem to travel, to use the zip lines as their connection point. So I was pretty happy that I could add them there. Started doing some landscaping. I'm adding a gyrosphere into this exhibit. It's not going to be like in the lore of this park. It's not going to be a gyrosphere, but it's some sort of enchantment, a charm that makes you, as a visitor of this vivarium, survive the extreme heat in it. Like the bubblehead charm that Cedric and Fleur used to be able to breathe in the Black Lake in the fourth movie. So that's sort of the lore behind it. Now I'm creating I wanted to fake like a cave and hide their water source in there. It's hidden, at least from the viewing galleries I placed. That was the intention. You can see it if you take the bubblehead charm, right, so to speak. But that's fine. But I wanted this cave to sort of be the nesting ground of the Fire Dwelling Salamanders. So I wanted it to look like some sort of crater thing, you know, and have it be really hot. So first of all, I stacked my rocks the way I like to stack them. If I want to give them like some sort of interesting shape, and trying to sort of fake a roof, which I can't, but to sort of hint at the idea that this is supposed to be a cave. And I know you can't, what I'm doing right now, you really can't see it from the gyrosphere tour or the viewing galleries, but the zip lines have a pretty awesome view into this exhibit. So I wanted the inside of this cave where there's the water source to look nice too, you know? So now I'm stacking all these rocks, making them point towards the gates. I just had to place them there because of fire, and to sort of emphasize that this is an entry to something. I wanted this to be the entry to the cave. So yeah, that's what I did. And okay, so let me tell you something about Fire Dwelling Salamanders. They are actually, I don't think they are harmful. The only thing I know about them is that, well, they are salamanders and they live in flames, and they have the color of their birthing flame. So whenever the fire gets a little weaker or hotter or less hot, you know, it changes color, and so do the animals. And I mean, you probably saw them on the thumbnail, but I used, of course, because of the red glow, the Spinoraptor for it. It's the only hybrid missing from this park. And it has this, well, it's actually kind of a magenta globe. But let's just say it's red, so it fits with the Gryffindors. Yeah, so I put them in here, and hence the fish feeder. But I was talking about the colors, so I bred 3 Spinoraptors. 2 have the Saharan Desert color. It's the reddy orange one, with, of course, the Lux pattern. Duh. And one, I don't know which color it is, but it is this bluish gray and has a yellow belly. It looks like amber's glowing. And I thought that was really fitting with the whole changing their skin or scale colors. No, salamanders don't have scales. They have skin, right? Okay, changing their color according to their birthing flame. So this one has a flame that is right now not burning like very brightly. Doesn't mean that it is going to die, because actually what's also most important, I think, to know about these is that they die once their birthing flame, their birth home, their whatever. Once this flame extinguishes. So once this flame dies, the Fire Dwelling Salamander that was born in it dies with it. They have magical properties. I don't know which they are. I think their blood is used in potions, but I don't think they're not dangerous, and they're not supposed to be this big, I think. But I mean, you know, what else is new? We're just using what we have, and these are the perfect fire dwelling salamanders. And to be completely honest, I sort of built this exhibit before. With the last episode, I had them right next to the Dementors in the Forbidden Forest, but it didn't make sense to me. I really like the contrast, you know, you walking through this frozen Dementor exhibit and proceed to the next one, which is really hot. Everything's burned, everything's burning. I really liked that, but apart from that, you're going to see how I used dead trees and dead wood, the log, to emphasize how hot it is in there. Of course, I know there comes a little bit of grass and greenery with the forest brush that give us the dead trees, apart from those that I'm placing myself. But those are, it's protected by a fire or heat repelling charm, like the one that is put on the people walking through there. And by the way, people still need sort of a station, an entry to this walkthrough experience protected by the heat repelling charm, because I think that not everyone is able to cast that spell. So there's a wizard there working, putting the charm on everyone, to make really sure that, and you don't even know if someone says, okay, I know how to do it, I'll do it myself. If it's a good one, if it will last until they exit the Vivarium. So it's much too dangerous to let anyone else perform this charm on the people that want to walk through there. So there's a wizard who is trained, who knows what they're doing, and putting this charm on the guests. But wait, I was talking about something else. I was talking about that I have built this thing before in the Forbidden Forest. But yeah, the fact that the only way to make it look hot and burned that I came up with was dead trees. And if it's supposed to be in the forest, you know, there's already a lot of clearings happening there because of all the open space we need for the water and the path and the feeders and all of that stuff and landscaping. And to increase that amount of open space even more, because the forest around, like the nest of the salamanders and their food source and stuff, because I had placed a lot of flames there, had to be this open and burned. It didn't look like a forest anymore, and I didn't like it. And it sort of didn't feel right to put it in open air for them to move around as much as they did, because they actually they live inside of fire. they wouldn't walk out of the fire. So the thing we're pretending is that this vivarium is extremely hot, so they couldn't feel safe to move around. And it just didn't work with the Forbidden Forest, so I deleted it. There's just one little rock formation left that I kept for I don't know what, but I liked it, that I have built there. That was supposed to be their nesting ground. But yeah, they now have a vivarium inside of a glass aviary, which is much better. I like it a lot, and I prefer this version of the build to the one I did in the Forbidden Forest, like 100 times more. It's just so much better. And I'm really glad. I'm really glad I did this. It's an easy build. It was sort of the perfect build for a live episode where I'm talking to you while I'm building. And I'm sorry, so many things went wrong. But then again, it gives you a funny little behind the scenes reel at the end. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Happy accidents. And now is actually the first time that I turned this to nighttime because, of course, glowy stuff had to happen. Look at the rocks. I love it. This is my favorite part. This is really can't talk even. Just love how this looks. It really looks like there's fire burning on the bottom of these rocks. Which is what I wanted. This really made it come together for me. What can I say? Trying to make it look as if, it's so hot inside the cave. So there's a really huge fire. So I placed a ton of lights, like right next to the gate and in front of the gate even, to make it look as if there's the light of the fire shining through this opening. And same with all the rocks lining the cave. I put a ton of lights between the rocks to have it look as if, the fire in there is so hot. It's sort of melting the rocks. See how there are these white hot highlights, so to say. It looks like really like maybe melting rock or something. So, like lava. And I just wanted it from the outside to look as if something inside there is really hot. It's making the stones melt. And it's shining through the cracks and crevices of this rock formation. Yeah, I think I achieved that pretty well. I was a little worried that the fire salamanders, aka Spinoraptors, would not walk through the gate. Because I hadn't bred them before, I didn't know how big they were. I didn't know in comparison to the gate. And, the game is weird. I know some dinosaurs are able to walk through there, others aren't. Why even? I mean, even a T-Rex should be able to walk through there. It's big enough, but it isn't. So, I was a little worried that I would have to change this entry, delete the gate, do something else. Because I really liked how it looks. I just love it. It looks so great. And you can see the Jurassic Park logo, so to say, the font on it most of the time. And if you take the zip line, you just go much too fast to read it. So it's red and yellow, which are Gryffindor colors, which is perfect. It's also fire colors. That's everything in here was just turned out so great. I'm very happy. Here are the beautiful fire salamanders that have the cutest social animation. Checking out their birthing grounds, or maybe their breeding grounds, their nesting grounds. If it would be safe to walk through the gate. I was really worried because they all stopped like in the middle of the gate. This one was the first to walk through. And that made me so happy. So happy. I just love how this looks. This is not all the light I placed in the end. I think there's more to come. Is it? Is there? Yeah, I'm going to illuminate the entire walls of this aviary because I still felt, especially at day, that it doesn't feel hot. Not hot enough, especially at day. So I did that. Just to, bring in more of the color. You see it during the day. The walls look orangey, which is fine, It's just warming up the atmosphere. in there, the perceived atmosphere. So I did that later, changed lighting colors to add some darker orange, to have some dynamic in the lighting colors. And then I went on to decorate the guest section. You saw the path that I was doing. It's a weird little, I didn't plan this, I just went with whatever I was given, and turns out it is symmetrical without it being like mirror symmetry, whatever this the right word for this would be in English, but I'm not looking it up now. It's just like, there's different ways of symmetry. The ways of symmetry that we have here is that every path leading up to an attraction is like at the same distance from the next one. The gaps are all the same size. The paths have all the same length. All of that stuff. And it's just alternating the entire time. So, that gives your creations, chaos and fluid shapes are cool. I like them, as you know. Sometimes, to ground your builds, to make them look like not confusing and pleasing to the eye, the easiest way is to add some sort of symmetry. And so it's totally fine. Didn't think about anything. Maybe there is a pattern, a Celtic pattern that's representing fire, but we don't really know. So I didn't even bother looking one up, but just went with this. And I'm just trying to see how I want to decorate this, putting a ton of flags, obviously the monolithic rock. I don't know what's the word in English for Hinkelstein. Hinkelstein? I don't know. I know the French word. It's menhir, but maybe it's menhir. Do you know this word? It's like these monolithic stones and rocks and pillars that Celts were using to create the Stonehenges and that sort of stuff. I used a lot of these to decorate, of course, this guest section. It really fits with the exhibit. And torches, of course, introducing the orange light that heats it all up to this guest section later. And honestly, there's not really much to say about. I think it's really straightforward what's happening here. Like all the decorating with the rocks and vegetation, lights, I don't think there's anything to talk about for me. So instead of boring you, is there anything that I could talk about that has nothing to do with the build? Let me think. Yeah, maybe something to make you not wonder if you missed anything in this episode, if you watched the outtakes. It turns out I've made this observation that really once a month I have 1 or 1.5, maybe 2 weeks where my brain is not braining and I'm very confused. It's a level, 5 levels above the level of confusion that I usually have. And this build sort of fell into this period of confusion. So I recorded all sorts of things. I have been trying out things to incorporate into the park. I've been trying out a path pattern that I showed you at the beginning as I said my hellos. And then I was like, don't worry, you're going to see how I did it. And I'm going to repeat it here and here. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just do this right now. Even though this is not what this video was supposed to be about. And then I started doing things that had nothing to do with the build, recorded them, and weird things happened while I did that later as well, but so they were weird enough, so I had to include them in the outtakes. So you're maybe getting a sneak peek of a few things that are about to come to this park. Also going to add Mustafa's wish of having an entrance near the lake where the boats would land. Also, this park, I didn't want to talk about this because I'm talking about it in the outtakes, but this park has to come to a close soon because it's annoying me, and I'm afraid that it is going to die. So I have to, bring it to an end, which I think is possible. Honestly, the Hufflepuff and Gryffindor corners are basically done. I mean, Hufflepuff is like there's just one little corner that is not filled, and I already know what I'm going to put there. The Gryffindor corner has a little bit more space left, but I think that's fine. We need like one more little forbidden forest nest or den or something after the Dementor exhibit, and to create an entry or an exit to the Forbidden Forest in the Gryffindor corner. And that's fine. And then there's another big space open, but I already know what I'm going to fill it with, which is something that I was also talking about. I don't think it's in the outtakes. I'm going to tell you, I had a little my brainstorming with Rob because he showed me, we were talking about how to do a Quidditch pitch, and then we just casually flew by the dragon made of rocks, and Rob saw that and was like, Miri, wait, now that I see the dragon, you need to do more stuff like this in this park. And I was like, yeah, and I actually announced that, and I had ideas, and I want to at least do the one-eyed witch. I don't know how to do a witch's face, but I wanted to try it. And then we sort of together came to the idea that we would add the original house mascot, like the lion, the snake, the raven. No, it's not a raven. Why do I always say raven? Because it's Ravenclaw. Okay. What is it? The eagle and the badger, by using this rock landscaping technique. And so I'm going to put a badger made of rocks in the one spaces, so open in Hufflepuff, and a lion. We already have a snake in Slytherin, but it's inside the Chamber of Secrets exhibit. So I don't know if I should, I think I should repeat it. Whatever. So things I would need your input on. Or would like your input on. I can figure out something myself, but this is a community park, so it's maybe fun to ask you guys about it. So to the Ravenclaw corner, I want to sort of add a huge research thing that is not secret, but it should feel like an attraction, like a theme park attraction that is faking a mad scientist's lab, but in reality, it's just theme parky things. And what I want to include in the Ravenclaw research lab is some educational things, for kids to maybe try one of the experiments or have first-hand experience on something and how to, breed something. I don't know. Something like that. I want it to have, it's supposed to be like a fun ride that you can walk through. Maybe it should include a ride. I don't know. It's not, the idea is just, it's very abstract and hasn't formed in my brain yet. So maybe you guys have some ideas as to what I should add to a Ravenclaw research facility. And Slytherin still needs something that's very dungeony, maybe some cages and lots of torches and walls. Definitely need to add more dungeon-esque feeling to the Slytherin corner. I was thinking of adding something like a potioneer's lab, but then again, we really don't have any decoration pieces that look like something a potioneer could use. So I'm struggling to figure out how I could possibly make one. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys have ideas for Slytherin Corner. What we already have is Thestrals, We have the Chamber of Secrets with the basilisk, and we have the manticores roaming the maze. The rest is still pretty much nothing. So yeah, those are my plans. I still need to add, I feel like really I need to add the astronomy tower. I think I'm going to sort of do it on the opposite side of the owlery. Mustafa asked me to do the room of requirement. Now I'm not really sure yet how. How? Just how and what? Like, it changes according to your needs. That is sort of what the core concept of the room that I can't fake. I don't know how. I wouldn't know how. I still have to do some thinking about that. But it's on the wish list, so I haven't tossed it yet. But yeah, if you have ideas, feel free to put them in the comments. And now there's really nothing more to say for me. So I'll just give you these last minutes with, again, the lovely Hogwarts Legacy soundtrack that I'm using for this build. So far, no one has claimed it. Copyright claim, so I'll continue doing it. And I hope you enjoyed this little build. It's a rather unconventional Spinoraptor exhibit, but I like it a lot. So I hope you do too. I hope you stay inspired and take care and wait until the end, where past me faces all sorts of obstacles during this build. Enjoy. Bye-bye. I didn't even get a notification. What is going on? Okay, it's one of these. This? What is going on again? Oh, okay, it's you. Go on then. Are you stuck? Oh. If you're stuck and now there's a cat puking. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. This is already one of the most confused episodes of the world.
10 seconds later.
Ja, Bibo, ich mach's weg. Ich mach's weg, Bibo. Du musst es nicht zuscharen. Hast du gut gemacht, Bibo.
One shift later.
Oh my God, it's so... This episode is the best of all. So I was like, okay, I first need to figure this out. I'll clean it up in a second. But he's impatient. So he started pulling a blanket because he wanted to clean it up. He's a cat. He's very clean. And so someone had to do something about it. And now he has this blanket. Put it on top of it. Now this thing is completely ruined. Needs to go into the washer. Cats. Just marvelous creatures. Wait, what am I doing? I think this is where... Oh my God, excuse me. What do I do? And who do I expect to answer me? Oh my God, would this do something for us? I'll put it here. Oh no! Huh! Okay, so your goat is acting up again. I don't know what's wrong with this feeder or this exhibit. The goat seemed to somehow managed to escape this exhibit, and this feeder won't spawn another goat because it's not being killed. And so this guy doesn't get enough food. It's a bit annoying, but it's as long as it's this easy to remedy, I'm happy with it. So can I really not and never exchange this for this is... Well, whatever. I like the... Who died? What happened? Why? Oh my God, you are such an idiot. How did you get there? Are you the albino one? Yeah, you are. This thing was stupid. Really? He was the only one getting me notifications. The other one is doing fine, which... Oh my God. What is wrong with this goat feeder? Oh my God. Oh, this park is really starting to annoy me. This thing has to come to an end. Soon. Don't die. I'm honestly thinking about replacing the goats here by... Yeah, I'm going to do it. Guys, this is happening. I mean, the space they have to move in is not really... It's not big enough for them. So they really have trouble with hunting. Terrain constraints. This is not annoying at all. Yeah. Go hunt your goat. I'll put your feeder right here. Bring back the water. Terrain constraints my ass. Stop this. Why? Be patient. Do it the patient way a sane person would approach this. Where was I? What was I doing? I was doing my crazy path. Okay. Bibo! Help! Who's dying? I can't be bothered about that stuff now. Whatever. Whatever. Rot there. Oh. I'm just realizing there's these terrible noises in the back. I'm so sorry. I just took a break. What I wanted to tell you is that I ate, and then I went to clean up a little bit, put some bits and pieces into my dishwasher so I could put it on and have a clean kitchen. And so now we have the dishwasher happily rumbling in the background. And what I also did was to turn on my coffee maker to run some sort of cleaning program. But I think that is done right now. I think what you just heard was the climax. I'm so sorry. Oh, there's a second climax happening. Give me some death. Not you, game. Not you. No death to be found here. Yes. You can leave us, please. But I can place this one, like here somewhere. And Bibo is just, he's playing. So he makes noises. Oh, come on, this game! Why? Why now? Are you stuck? On what could you possibly be stuck? Is it this? Can you move now? Oh, honestly, my goodness. Why?